The purpose of this speech is to inform my audience about the movie called Silver Linings Playbook. Have you ever watched a movie that you related to so much it felt like you were involved in the movie or you had real emotions towards it? Bradley Cooper played a character in this movie. The main character, he had bipolar disorder. He found out this after being released from the hospital. They sent him to a mental institution after a fight he got into with his ex-wife's new partner. The movie is very moving and emotional, and I really recommend you should watch it. This movie also allowed me to see the other different sides of mental health for other people. And I read an article by Gwen Watkins that described this very well, and it was on the website Vulture. It had very good information on how mental health affects each of us differently. The first point of this speech, I will be discussing how this movie changed my view and understanding. Another one is how it describes mental health, specifically bipolar disorder, and how it affects people that are trying to recover from it. The last point is how I personally related to the movie and why I think more people should watch. So the first one is how this movie changed my perspective. It follows along the main character, Pat Cilantro, as he works to get his life back together after being released from the mental institution. It shows his hardships and challenges of trying to recover and navigating this new life he figured out he had. And I also read a journal by Shane Edwards, and it really shows how people react after being released from the mental hospital, what they do, what they have to do to keep up with how they're supposed to be treated. This movie also shows viewers that good things come to those who wait, and maybe life isn't how you planned it, but it might even turn out better. Secondly, I will discuss how this movie describes bipolar disorder and its effects on the person. To recover with this illness, you have to stay on medication and regularly go to therapy, and you also have to have the desire to get better, otherwise it's not going to work if you don't want to. I read an article by Roger Ebert. He explains mental health and how silver linings are in effect with this, and how you can better use it in your life. In this movie, he meets a girl that also has mental health problems of her own, and they kind of connect through there, and they have someone to rely on and know that they understand each other. Lastly, I will talk about how I related to this movie and why I think you should watch it. I personally related to this movie because I myself have personal mental health issues, and I'm just big into helping people with mental health. My minor is psychology, so I really want to use that. And mental health isn't easy to talk about and speak up. Some people feel judged or unheard because not a lot of people really understand it. They know an overview, but they don't really understand how it feels. So it's kind of hard to go to therapy and discuss that because you don't know what other people are going to think. This movie also made me gain perspective on all sorts of different sides of it. I knew a lot about mental health, but I didn't know this much about it. In conclusion, I talked about the movie The Silver Linings Playbook, and I described how this movie impacted my understanding on mental health and bipolar disorder. It explains bipolar disorder in a different way that not a lot of people know about. And I personally related to the movie, and I think everyone should watch it and gain some new perspective on it. Through this movie, he had a lot of challenges in his life, and he kind of worked on bettering himself to kind of get back to where he was. He did lose his job, and his family kind of turned on him, and I think that it was a very inspirational movie